people want real connections. People want to hear or see, your experience. They don't want to just look on Google Maps. That imposter syndrome is real, We got to get over that.
What you experience as a Black woman versus what you're experienced as, like you said, can you call it again? You said
masculine
presenting.
I'm just thinking of social media now. Is that where you guys see that you can do things and then that inspires you guys to be able to do that?
Welcome to the Nurse Boss Shift. It's your girl, Dr. Kiana Jones.
And I'm Crystal P, the Beauty NP.
And today we have the wonderful Nurse Ro who is joining us. You guys, we are so excited to dive into her journey and her experience. We had a little rocky start, but we here, and that's all that matters. Nurse Ro, that's it. That's it. We have to give value so long as we stayed the course, right? And I think that level of perseverance is what it takes as far as entrepreneurship and just being a creator. And so, Nurse Ro, before we dive into the meat and potatoes of this session, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your journey in nursing and then also where you are right now in the space.
All right, y'all. Hey, everybody. What's up? My name is Rozela. Everybody knows me as Ro. So my nursing journey started in 2013. I went to Georgia State. I graduated from there. I went through their nursing program. I graduated in 2017, started off in the biggest trauma center in Atlanta, Grady. And ever since I've been on go. So I did my residency at Grady. I started traveling shortly after my 2 years. Did the COVID thing, if y'all remember those 10K checks. Did the COVID thing. And now I'm here. I'm back in my space. I'm back. And actually, I go back to Georgia State, get my psych NP. But my nursing journey, I've worked a lot of CTs, infusion, med, surge, tele, step down, a little bit of ED, Any place you can really think of that's not cardiac cath or OR, but I've been around the whole hospital. And right now, like I said, I'm back in psych NP school. I'm trying to plan some outside work events for the nurses of Atlanta. And I also do some ACLS BLS certification, but I kind of slowed down recently to focus on a project that I'm doing. Like I said, ATL Nurse Expo, that's the event that I created, but I'm trying to make it a nonprofit organization, basically to serve Atlanta nurses, Atlanta nursing students, anybody interested in the community, because, we need our people knowledgeable of what we have going on and what we have to offer, and also giving back to the community and the nursing students. So that's what I've been up to recently, and also being a content creator.
You said 2017, Nurse Ro?
Yeah.
That is crazy. But it's all the things you've done. It's okay. Wait a minute. First of all, are you a gen? What gen? You a Z, right? You probably a Z.
No, I'm still a millennial.
You a millennial. Okay. I just love how you have done so much in such a short period of time. When I try to get nurses who've been in the game for 15, 20 years, and they still are unable to see what's possible out there. And what I always love about the millennials to get it, and Gen Zs, is that you guys will go get it. So let's start with that. I know we're going to talk about the things that you have been able to do specifically, but let's just talk about how did you evolve when you started in 2017? Did you already have this plan of okay, I'm gonna go and travel after 2 years, I'm gonna do this? Did you already have that plan, or did it kind of unfold?
Yeah, so I'm a Virgo, so I don't know if you know anything about Virgos, but we have our life planned out like this. So I really did, before I started nursing. To be honest, at first I didn't want to be a nurse. I wanted to be a veterinarian. But, once I did nursing, I had this plan. Hey, I'm going to do my 2 years at this hospital. I'm going to travel, and then I'm going to do some travel work, and I'm going to go back to school. That was my plan. But, COVID came. I had stopped traveling. And I was like, it's time to go back to school. It's time to get focused. Because, sometimes money can get you, it can steer you off track of the long run. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about, I always had a plan because sometimes you can get lost in nursing. You can get stuck and be in a place where you're happy in healthcare in general. And I feel like especially a lot of our older nurses, they get stuck of this is the only thing out there, this box. And Gen Z, us millennials, we quit to go. We quit to do whatever we want to do. And we're not settling for nothing. We're not settling for being unhappy. So I always had the plan, let's go, let's get it. I'm on the timeline. And things happen. Sometimes you take off the course, but I've always had plans. So
I was just thinking, and when trying to kind of navigate when I first became a nurse and thinking about traveling and those things, I heard about it, but I'm just thinking of social media now. Is that where I was gonna say, is that where you guys see that you can do things and then that inspires you guys to be able to do that? Because I'm like, I wanted to travel, but I couldn't find a place to stay. And I'm like, if I had that now, I just go get a mentor and she could tell me where to stay, how to get the contracts and all that.
the thing is, too, I feel like I remember like it was yesterday, 2017, 2018. I was like, man, I should start doing nursing content. It really, people was doing nursing content, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now in 2024. You said now in 2024, you go on Instagram, TikTok, even Facebook groups, and you're going to find a lot of information. You don't even need to Google. Googling now is just a fact check. Let me be sure. But, back then, like I said, I was at Grady. It was a very short staff facility, so they utilized a lot of travelers. And so, I used to connect. I'm not a shy person. Hey, what's going on? Tell me, how can you help me, and how can I help you? So, I learned about traveling as a tech because I started off as a tech, and I'm like, man, I gotta go get that money. I'm doing the same thing y'all doing. I gotta go get that money. So that's how I really got on board. Because I'm like, hey, if they can go get it, I can go get it too, because this money out here for everybody. That's my whole motto.
And so, where do you think? So, okay, so I'm going to piggyback off of Crystal's question now with this whole social media because I feel like, community, it was slept on for so long. And I think with social media now, we have this ability to connect with anybody from anywhere in the world and see what's possible and actually reach out to them and say, hey, like, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing, whatever. And it just changes everything. So my question to you is, what role do you think social media and the community that you may have built around you play in you being able to get to, like, from 2017, which for me is yesterday, right? Being a nurse as long as I've been, to like only 6 years later, 7 years later, having, are you pursuing your psych MP? You did this ATL Expo, which we'll talk about. You're a creator, like you're doing all of that. What would you say the role social media played in like you getting here?
I'm gonna be honest. I think social media for me, I have a positive experience. I don't have the most followers. To me, I have a micro community, but I've met so many people. Like you said, I've met so many people across the country. I had somebody tell me that, somebody see my content in another country in London. And it was amazing to see, how we all can connect literally based on a video, TikTok, Instagram. So for me personally, it caused me to create connections with a lot of people, influencers that are, higher than me in the community, network connections. Like you just said, it helped me build my audience for my expo. I don't have the most followers, like I said, but when you're a good person, people are going to show out for you. It's going to be word of mouth for, hey, you heard about Ro, or Ro, you seen Ro. So, social media for me has provided me with connections. It's provided me with jobs sometimes. Hey, y'all, call crucial. I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep going back to COVID. Social media, caused me to get good jobs. Call crucial, call this place. Oh, this is the staffing agency paying the most. It's caused me to connect with nurses in other cities. Hey, how are you on the road? Like I know a bunch of nurses in Miami. I know a bunch of nurses in Texas, Cali, I went out there, New York, so it's great, even if I did start going outside again, as far as Georgia to travel, I'm gonna find somebody that I know, period. So, easily. And, I've also, not even with connections, but now you're learning. People are putting out information about, whether that's products, whether that's schoolwork, how to pass the class, how to do X, Y, and Z. So it's really, like I said, the new Google, the nursing field. And people want real connections. People want to hear or see, your experience. They don't want to just look on Google no more. They don't want to just type it up. I want to see and hear your experience, or how did you do this? So for me, like I said, just a big networking connection, just a big shows me how to do certain things within nursing. It tells me I've learned about specialties I never thought of or heard of off of Instagram and Facebook. So really a big education and network portion, like I said, it's helped me. So
And what made you want to, was it the plan to be a creator, or like, how did you, did you ever have any, a lot of times we hear people saying like, I'm just worried, I'm scared to show up on camera. Like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to sound stupid. I don't want to whatever. So how was that the plan to be a creator, or were you just trying to intentionally connect with your tribe? Like, how did you end up in that space?
when it came to creating, it was crazy. I really started when I was in Cali, doing TikToks. TikTok had just came about. I used to share, like I said, in 2017, it came to me, do some nursing content. Don't be scared. But that imposter syndrome, it's real, We got to get over that, because it's people making crazy content, bad content that's incorrect. So why can't I get on camera and do my thing, So I really started in COVID. I feel like I'm funny. I'm funny. I'm real. And that's just where it started. It started when I was in Cali about what, in 2020, maybe. And I just started making videos ever since, It's hard to make real content as far as your everyday life, get ready with me, and sometimes even just informational content. So I'm not gonna lie, I stick to the funny videos, but I really do want to move outside and tell people my story, or tell people how to do XYZ, because I do have a different face. I am a masculine presenting woman, so that's also neat. A lot of people say, hey, I'm being honest, I've never seen you be a type of person like you be a nurse. So everybody has their own, experience, their own niche. People, everybody has a community. Like I said, mine is small right now, but I hope for it to continue to grow, and to continue to, people to continue to see me and my story. So, yeah.
I love that. I didn't even think about, Crystal, did you think about, I didn't think about when you said a masculine presenting woman in this space. And then when you said that, I'm thinking, have I ever worked with a nurse who, I don't know that I can say that I have. So I can imagine if there's not a lot out there. Well, I know, and I'm in Cali. So, I'm in Southern Cali. So, it's plenty of, but I can't think that I've worked with. And I think when anytime there's far and few, then there is likely a level of experience that you're going to have that's unique to like what you experience as a Black woman versus what your experience as, like you said, can you call it again? You said
Masculine
masculine presenting.
gotta use the.
Right. Give me on point. I think that would be really good though, as far as like see, I'm gonna tell you something, and this is coming from me, and I'm way older than you, right? Okay. I'm technically, they call me a millennial or whatever, because I was born in 79, but whatever. But exactly. No, I feel like it, and I have that millennial kind of mentality mixed with a little Gen Z. But the reason why I'm saying that is because as a creator myself, it's so funny because I never in a million years would have thought I'd refer to myself even as a creator, right? But when I started to share my personal journey, like things that I have been through that wasn't always like funny and hee hee ha ha, but like, hey, I experienced this. I I connected on a deeper level. And I truly started to see it in my not just my free community on social and YouTube, but my paid community. So people who actually pay me, it would be like, I'm trying to find out, okay, so what made you join this, and that? And they like, yeah, I was a teenage mom. Like, I dropped out of high school. Like, I experienced domestic violence. Like, all the things that I've put out there, it's like that drew them in even closer to me and gave them a space, a safe space to know that, you know what? I'm not the only one who's been through this. And like, look at what Dr. Jones has been able to experience. I didn't expect this conversation to go this way, but I'm just thinking about the value that could be out there for masculine presenting women in nursing. I don't know nobody out there doing that. I don't see anybody out there really leaning into that. I think that would be definitely a good space. And like I said, it really connects you deeper to your people.
And like you just said, people want to hear and see personal. People want to be in your business. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of the world. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, when you share those personal stories, people are like, yeah, I can connect with her. And I'm gonna be honest, that's my thing right now, of being vulnerable and sharing my story. Because it's not even about my story. Sometimes it's just about I'm just that type of person. I'm private, but I want to grow my community. And like you said, somebody else may be going through the same thing I'm going through.
That's right. Because where do you see masculine presenting nurses? They're nurses with the cute, like when we are caricatures, like on Halloween, what do we have on? We have on fishnets, short skirt, to like.
Exactly. So, it's different. So I think I'm gonna take heed of what you just said seriously, because like I said, I want to venture out of comedy or 6-second clips of, sound overs. No, I gotta get deep in the field if I want my community to grow.
Yeah, when I was hearing you say that you had some hesitation around it, I was going to ask you, what is your hesitation in kind of sharing your story, which you've just mentioned here. But yeah, I would definitely say to lean into that, because definitely need it, and like you said, there's somebody out there who's waiting for you to tell your story so that they can feel comfortable when they go to work and in this field.
Or even coming into nursing, like maybe they're thinking about becoming a nurse and like they don't see anybody representing them, so they're just like, never mind. And then you add that layer of being a African American woman in nursing, like we already know what that entails. So there's a lot of layers that I think you could potentially penetrate with your marketing, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm gonna be honest, my hesitation, because I'm real, I'm gonna always be real. Because of the fact, it's like I need to tell my story about, me being a masculine presenting nurse and the things that I've been through, my story XYZ. You can do it, but at the same time, I say, dang, I am a masculine presenting nurse. I don't have the aesthetic. I'm gonna be honest, everybody looking for that aesthetic. I don't have my ball bag. I don't have my Stanley Cup. I'm regular. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing some sneakers. I'm looking cute. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not that girl. But
Listen, we listen. This is the regular podcast. Listen, this is a regular podcast right here, okay? We all regulars, okay? Let me tell you what I do feel like that may be a challenge for you is I'm looking on TikTok. Even for me, I get intimidated too. Like I'm looking on TikTok and everybody who is a nurse has the bag, the booty, the this, and I'm like, wow, we have come to this. Like, and for someone who's been in it for a while, I'm like, dude, like, I get why we can be perceived as the mean girl crew, as the this and that, because there is a certain aesthetic that goes along with the TikTok nurse or the social media creator nurse that a lot of us don't fit into the category that they are putting out there. And I wouldn't even want to, because them some hard shoes to fill. I can't imagine having to show up made up, full beat every single. Dude, I cannot.
but but it's true. It's the reality. No, and power to the ladies that do that. No disrespect. But I'm not, yo, I can't show up like that. I will never, and every day, I'll be y'all tripping.
Yeah, yeah. I think you would be surprised. But show up because people need to see it, and I think that it sets you apart. And honestly, differentiation is what's going to win. At some point, everybody starts to morph together and look the same. Like they expect to see the same when they see a nurse, somebody saying they're a nurse, and like a day in the life. And I'm not making fun of y'all, like get y'all money. I get it. But I also am speaking for the people who are like you, Nurse Ro, who get intimidated. It's like, do I have a space? Yes, you definitely do, because they're creating this environment where we all are perceived the same. And let me tell you something, it is equivalent to when I first started. It was nurses make good money. Look, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't. I didn't have. Facebook was the only thing that had just came out. That's just how old I am, right? It had just came out, but it was money. It was like people would see you if you didn't have a certain car, then they were like, "You a nurse? Like where yo this and that." But it wasn't all over social media like it is now. So the pressure is even harder for you guys who are in this space and trying to, to create your own platform. Is a little bit difficult, but I say there are still people who need you to show up. And one thing I tell my clients and my mentees is like, when you look at the people who need you more than you look at the fears that you may have, you will show up. Because especially us as nurses, it's not about us. It's about who we can serve and who we can help. You know what I'm saying? Like the people gonna be the people, but there are those who need you, who are like, oh my gosh, I saw, and you'll see it. Once you start, you'll see people like, man, I came across your such and such, like, thank you. I really needed that. And I don't care. It's just one person you can help. It was worth it for sure.
Oh, that's real.
Attention, aspiring entrepreneurs in the healthcare industry. Have you ever dreamt of starting your own successful IV hydration business? Well, your dream is about to become a reality. Imagine a business where you can make a difference in people's lives while building a thriving venture. We're excited to invite you to a free webinar that will unlock the secrets to launching a successful IV hydration business. Join us for an exclusive event where industry experts will share invaluable insight on the essential steps to launch your IV hydration business, building a six-figure business from scratch, navigating the challenges in the healthcare entrepreneurship journey. But that's not all. Attendees of the webinar will get a sneak peek into our comprehensive IV hydration on-demand course. Discover how this course has empowered others just like you to turn their passion into profit. Picture this: lifetime access to in-depth video trainings, business strategies, SOPs, and exclusive bonuses that can catapult your success.
Register now for our free webinar at https://apply.trueusavvy. That's truusavvy.com/training. Don't miss this opportunity to kickstart your journey to a rewarding and lucrative IV hydration business.
Listen, not because your girl could keep going, but listen, okay, so that was a whole different direction than I was planning on going, but I had to say it, and I be believing God be speeding things in me, and so I feel like maybe I needed to say it because it came at the right time. But I do want to talk about what you did in ATL, okay? But before I get to it, so you guys, Nurse Ro is I want to say, founder of the ATL Nurse Expo. Is that pretty accurate? Okay, so she's the founder of ATL Expo. First of all, how did ATL not already have a nurse expo? I don't know, because it's so many Hollywood nurses in ATL. They like LA. Like, so how that hadn't already happened is just taking me, right? But how did you decide to do it? Like, what was your process? I mean, what did you do? Did you just one day be like, you know what, I want to such and such? Or like, did you attend an event? Like, what inspired you to do this?
So my very first one, it was called ATL Nurse. I think our name was still ATL Nurse Expo or ATL Nurse Event. It was last year in February. And it was a small event. I was thinking, man, I want to do something for nurses. I know too many people. I can go to any hospital in Atlanta. Like the past couple people that have started on my floor in the internal travel team, I've known every single one. Everybody's like, dang, how you know everybody? So I know a lot of people, so I'm like, man, how can I connect nurses? How can I connect nursing students to nurses, or CNAs to nurses, or people that are just interested? So last year, I'm like, man, I'm going to throw an event. I had thought about it. I want to say I thought about it in January. Had a month to plan it, did it February 25th, exactly a month. And it was about 50 people that came. We had mimosas. It was at a small event space. I had actually won a raffle to hold an event at the event space, so I didn't have to pay. And I'm like, man, this is the opportunity. I'm doing this event. So I had two nurse practitioners. It was very small, intimate. Two nurse practitioners there, an older one that been in the game for 20 years and one that just graduated. I had a nurse that left the bedside to show, hey, I can leave the bedside. This is my entrepreneur skills. So this is what you can do too. And I had a couple vendors. I want to say like 10, of people that sold nursing items or financial services. And so I was like, man, this was a good event. 50 people, okay. So then, Nurses Week came this year, and everybody was like, man, you doing a nursing event? And I was kind of on the edge of it because I'm like, should I? And I was like, yo, the last one was good. So this year I held it during Nurses Week. I had some guest speakers, content creators, Nurse D, APR and Beauty. I had literally every type of NP you could think of. I had a psych NP, I had a OB NP, PEDS NP, and FNP that did standardized practice. And so I had a bunch of vendors. It was about almost 20 vendors. About 150 people came to this one. I had free liquor. I know it's a nursing event, but we got to get loose open, but guess what though? It was so cute, and syringes and urine cups and in blood bags. So it was a nice event, and a lot of people came to connect. It was nursing students, seeing that anything you can think of, LPNs. And what really made me say, hey, I'm gonna keep going is I said, where's the farthest somebody has traveled? And I want to say they said what, some weird state, Minnesota. And I said, you came from Minnesota for me? I said, oh no, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. But it was a dope event, man. It was great and everybody loved it. I will say planning an event is not easy. At first, you're gonna be spending a lot of your personal money. And I feel like with this event this year, because it was bigger, I did make a lot of mistakes. And I would tell everybody I did make a lot of mistakes from the building, from the photographer, oh my gosh, from the setup. But it was still a great event. But like I said, ATL Nurse Expo it's great and it's gonna happen every year. And like I said, I plan to have other events throughout the year to also cater to our Atlanta nursing community. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a registered nurse or a nurse practitioner. You could be somebody that's just interested or wanting to be surrounded by the nursing community, or if you're interested. So, like I said, dope event. Gonna have more events for Atlanta. I just really want to hone in on my nonprofit so I can sell some tax exemptions and things of that nature. So yeah.
I was going to ask you, what is it about events that kind of draw you in? Is it about seeing people connect, or is it something you feel like you needed, or what is it about that space that draws you?
So I love hosting. I don't mind talking. I always tell people in my past life I was a performer. I love to sing. I love to dance. I like to keep people going. For me, it's about seeing that connection, having people that don't know each other meet and connect because everybody has something in common, at least one thing in common. And so some people are scared or shy or they don't know where to go. Everybody's not a social media person. They need in-person connections. They need that heart. They need a mentor. They need this. They need that. So that in-person event, like I said, was great for me. And I was happy for other people to see and to come. And like I said, to connect, to meet new people. It was people from all over, not just Atlanta, but Georgia, different hospitals. How can I help you get a job? Or what are you doing right now? What are you doing besides bedside? What are you doing besides NP? What's your plans? What's your goals? It's just a space to connect and fellowship as well, because we need a break from that hospital or that clinic or whatever space you're working in. So I love that aspect too. I just came to relax and kick it and meet new nursing friends. I don't want no information. And that's cool too. You know, you don't know, you never know who you may meet. So whatever that event was for, whatever purpose that the attendee came for. If you came for a certain thing, I hope that you got it. I hope that you got that connection. I hope that you met a friend. I hope that you got a preceptor. I connected a lot of people, nurse practitioner students with preceptors. It was so many nurse practitioners there. And it's hard being in school myself. I see people, hey, I need a preceptor to do my clinical hours. If you know somebody, sometimes if you know somebody that knows somebody, that's all you need. So
Okay, a couple of things you made mention a little bit ago of, you said my social media platform, like, it's growing, it's not that big, right? But I am a firm believer of it's really who you, at this point in the world, right after COVID, it's who you meet in real life that has the most impact, because you have people show up for you, and I'm sure those are people who may have crossed your path at some point. They may have been from social too, but may also have crossed your path. And I want people who are listening to understand it's not about the followers. And don't get, because there are people with millions of followers who are not generating any revenue, who have not built real true community, right? It is because they haven't spent the time to know who they are talking to and really provide genuine value to them, or show up at events and things like that. They just post things that people like, and that's not how you build a community. Now, you went from 50, you said, the first event. How many people the second? This is the second event this year, right?
the second, yeah, this was the second time. I want to say it was packed out over 150. The room was to capacity. People, sad to say, people were standing like we were at the club, like, and like you just said, like I said, I don't have a lot of followers. I have about almost 6,000 on Instagram and about 7,000 on TikTok. But the way my mama was like, "Whoa, you know all these people?" My mama older. And it's like a lot of these people did not come from social media. Some of them were just like, yeah, somebody in the hospital told me about it. They told me to pull up. I was like, dang. Or yeah, I be seeing you. Sometimes I watch your content, but somebody told me you was cool, so I went. So it's things like that, like you said. Sometimes the real life connections will over trump social media. Because like you said, it's some people that's have the audience or have the followers, and people won't show up for them. So, like you said, it's about who you are in real life. It's about who you are in
Yeah,
real life
no,
too.
that's I think that's amazing to go from 50 in just a year to 150 in standing room. Dude, that is to be celebrated. And which brings me to the next part. How the heck did you get all these people? I know you said you had APR and beauty, you had Dr. D, right? How did you get them? Did you just reach out to them, shoot them a DM? Like, what did you do?
So that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, social media for me, I met a lot of people. So I met APR and Beauty I hosted an event for Black Nurses Meet. I hosted it in about 2 years ago. I hosted the Black Nurses Meet in Miami. And they was like, dang, bro, you a good host. I met a lot of people from there in Miami. I met one of my coworkers from Miami. I was like, yo, what's up? And so I met D and APR and Beauty in Miami. Um, and we just stayed cool ever since. They're like, yo, you cool in real life. Like, you cool. And so we always kept in contact, just even if it's a, hey, how you doing, girl, to the DMs. But like, me and Dr. D, we real cool. So I just said, hey, yeah, I need y'all to fly up here. I'm planning an event. Just come through for me. Say less. When you cool with people, they'll do whatever for you. That's why I say always treat people right in the nursing community, because you never know when you may need them again. And so, and they said, say less. They came without hesitation. Um, like I said, I had some other people that I've known too, you know, and they came without hesitation from, other cities in Georgia that were on the panel. So, it's about, like I said, treating people right. Um, But I met them off social media, staying cool with them and just, it's a small world. Nursing is a small world in the United States. You're gonna know somebody. So, they came out with no hesitation and, they promoted it too. And, they had people that were interested in them, from Atlanta. Hey, they're gonna be there, so we're gonna show up too. So, they contributed as well to the numbers portion, but they came out with no hesitation.
So if somebody wanted to do something like this, I mean, because, well, I guess I have two questions. And then, Chris, I don't know if you have a question, but I want to know where do you see this going? Like, what's your vision? And then I want you to speak to that person who is listening to this podcast and like, I want to do something like that in my town. I really want to do something to connect nurses and bring people together. I want you to give them some tips on how they could do that. So that's two questions that I have for you.
So where do I see the ATL Nurse Expo going? So like I said, this nonprofit is going to be ATL Nursing Society, and it's going to cater to nursing students, nurses, nurse practitioners. Like I said, anybody interested in the field, CNAs, LPNs. We're going to get out in this community in Atlanta. We're going to show them what the nursing community can offer, what we can do. Like I said, I want to throw events as well outside of the ATL Nurse Expo to connect us, to keep us bonded, to keep us connected to fellowship. But where do I see the ATL Nurse Expo? Years from now, I want it to be maybe just as big as the Essence Fest or some big convention. I want to hold it in a convention center. I want to have multiple days. One day we're doing workshops, or one day we're celebrating. The next day we're connecting. I want it to be in a big hotel convention center, and I want 1,000 people to come all over the country. They say, hey, I want ATL Nurse Expo. They get down. I want people to, I want it to be beneficial. I want you to find your preceptor. I want you to find your clinical, whoever it is you need for hours. I want you to find that job. I want you to get inspired. I want you to say, hey, this makes me want to become a nurse. I want to give back to the community. I want to help that nursing student that may need $1,000 or $10,000. Hey, you're going to get all the profits from this. I want to do scholarships. So that's where I see, that nonprofit going. But as far as, like I said, the expo, I want it to be big. I want it to be all over America. I want people to say, hey, I'm going to the ATL Nurse Expo next year. I'm getting my tickets early. So for anybody out there that wants to do, hold events in your city or just get out your comfort zone, you have this grand idea, do it. You're going to make mistakes, but that's life. Nothing is perfect. And if you don't try, how will you learn? How will you learn? Like I said, I made plenty of mistakes in regards to planning. Like I said, this event seemed great on the outside, but on the back end, a lot of learning that I've done. So all I can say is just do it. Just do it. Put that imposter syndrome to the side. Literally just do it. Don't be scared. Actually, be scared. Because if you're not scared, what you doing it for? You need something that gives you that drive, So get out there, do it. Let the haters say whatever, because people going to talk about you regardless. So keep going. Do it. Give up. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay consistent. Because with those three things, you can do whatever you want in this life. And that's what my mama always told me. So, like I said, get out there and do it. Get those thoughts, put them on paper. Get out there, start talking. Get out there in your community. Stay true to you too. Don't switch up. Don't switch up. So, just be you at the end of the day. And if you're genuine, if you're real, and if you have good intentions, like I said, you can do anything with that discipline, consistency.
Yeah, and I just love how you keep making mentions of the lessons that you learned and how it wasn't the easiest planning this event, but also to take note that you said you'll be coming back again doing it next year and for years to come. So it only makes you stronger, and I'm sure this year you'll be able to plan it even bigger and with less mistakes as you did last time, because now you've already went through it, and then you can teach somebody else to do it. So yeah, this has been a wonderful conversation. And I'm so proud of you for stepping out and hosting in Atlanta, which is one of like a very intimidating place that we talked about with the nurse community, but stepping out and really making something amazing. Already 150 people in your second year, which you kind of did that on a whim too. So just amazing work. Keep it up.
Yeah, congratulations, man. I can see you got a lot ahead of you in your future. Just continue. Because what happens, I believe, is that over time, it snowballs. Like you start to gain a lot of momentum because you see like people really messing with me. Like they, okay, like I can keep on. And you'd be surprised they'll start reaching out to you. They'll start opening up all kind of doors. So just shout out to you, Nurse Roque, for continuing to show up. And like Crystal said, especially in ATL, because it's pretty Hollywood there. It's like Bollywood or whatever you want to call it. So to be able to get nurses to come together and step out in that space and that marketplace is definitely an accomplishment. We didn't get to dive into everything. I don't know. I guess, Crystal, we're going to have to do a part 2 because we got hung up on the first topic, which was important. But we probably gonna have to reach out to you, Nurse Rowe, and do a part 2. But before we head out, I do want to ask you, so if you have someone who is interested in either becoming a creator or even hosting their own event, I've asked you about what they should do, but give a tactical, like tangible thing that they should do right now. You can do either from the creative side or from the like if they wanted to host an event in their area. Give them some homework. Like, what's one thing that you think helped you like jump out there and actually do it, whether that was creating your first reel or whether that was like daring to ask somebody to show up at your event. Like, you can decide on which one, but give something that they can actually do right now if they're thinking about it.
If you are thinking about hosting an event, what you can do right now, that's a loaded question. What you can do right now, I always tell people, write down everything, write down your ideas. You have to me, you have to see it on paper. I'm old school. I got to see it on paper. Get out there, something tangible you can do. Write down your ideas, get out there, get your ideas rolling. Don't be afraid or hesitant to reach out to people that you want at your event because you never know. Don't be scared and be like, they're not gonna come around. They're a big influence because you never know who's gonna show up for you. Because you may be rejected sometimes. It's okay. Rejection is okay. It just opens another door. That's all it does. You go out one door, I'm gonna go to this one, okay? Start gathering everything that you want at your event, whether that's vendors, start writing that down, whether that's people. What is your vision? What is your vision of the event? So
No, but I think those are some really good starting points because I think for my faith, just you're supposed to write it down and make it plain. Like if you are saying you want to do something and you just leave it up in your head, that's not going. When you write it down and you see it, you're like, oh, this look good. Like maybe I could this and I could that. Like you have to do it. Take some action, and I think writing it down is definitely first step. The second thing I would say to piggyback on what you said when you said get out there is if you want people to support you, support people. Like, don't just think if you ain't showing up at other people's events, but yeah, you want to host an event, that's the first mistake. Just like if you're not investing in yourself and you want people to invest in you, like that's not how it goes. It's called the law of reciprocity. So you need to make sure if you want to host an event like this, be attending other people's events and pumping them up and yeah.
show love, just show love to people. Well, even if you can't go to show love, support them some way, somehow. It's all about support. It's free. People act like I'm killing you. Just reshare. That's simple support. You don't even have to put a comment. Just reshare. You have to, like you said, you gotta support because people see that. And people will remember who supported them. People remember who did nothing. So like I'm gonna piggyback. Just write down your ideas, get out there, get your thoughts together, start planning, do it sooner than later. You don't want to be last minute. And I'm gonna be honest, have some money put up to the side because like I said, you're gonna, in my opinion, you're gonna come out of pocket some way, somehow, especially for your first event. And Sometimes we gotta lose money to make money at first because we think in longevity. We're not just thinking right now, because my first event, I made no money. I think I was negative, but I wasn't expecting to. It was my first time. My second event, I made some money. It was like, okay, I'm seeing it, but it's one of those things like, yeah, you want to do events, but you want to get your funds back. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to reach out to people that may sponsor. You never know who may sponsor, who may give you a deal. It's money out here for everybody. It's discounts. You just gotta open your mouth because closed mouths don't get fed. Don't know if you don't say anything.
Well, Nurse Ro, okay, that was dope, and I think a lot of people are going to definitely take away from this podcast the power of saying that you can do something and actually doing it, because in your short time as a nurse, you have done some more than people who have been nurses for 30 years, and I think that is commendable. But also, I want to just get really quickly how people can reach you. Do you have a website for the ATL Nurse Expo?
So I was using Eventbrite. I don't have a website, I'm not gonna lie. But if you want to reach me, you can go to my Instagram _ROALJE, and on TikTok is at ROALJE. Reach out to me. I'm open to anybody. I get random questions all the time about whatever. I'm an open person. I don't mind talking. I don't mind chit chatting about anything. I'm cool. I'm a free spirit. So reach out to me there. My email too, I think, is an Instagram page. Don't hesitate. Reach out to me. Ask questions. Get in the know. See, you might can help me. I always say that. So reach out. If I can help you, you can help me. You never know. It's a give relationship. So let me know whatever questions you guys have, whatever info y'all want to know. If you want to see how you can help plant it in the city, I'm willing to help you. So reach out to me if you have any questions, you guys.
And shout out to starting with no website, because these are the little tactical things that people would say is the reason why they can't. Like, no, if you gotta, like you say, I know you did this from Instagram with 150 people. Like, y'all stop with the excuses, okay? Like, for real. That's
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. I only promoted on Instagram. Only Instagram, and word of mouth. But I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even go crazy. I don't, like I said, I don't have a website. I'm not gonna lie to you. I should get a website. And when you ask me that, I'm like, dang, I'm gonna get a website.
at some point you will, though. It's like, just do it. That's my thing. Just do it. And then you're going to learn and grow and make it better, better, better. But you had to do it. I always say I start at ugly every time I do something. When I'm launching something, I start at ugly. And then over time, it gets better and better. And then I'm like, okay, next time I need to do this, I need that. And it just improves over time. But if I'm waiting to have all the ducks in a row before I start, I'm never going to start. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right. Well, thanks, Nurse Ro, for coming out. And I want to give a special shout out. I already told you I was going to say this, to Nurse Ro's smoke detector. We know we got it on, so we want to just let y'all know we acknowledge it. And she going to change that battery. I told her how to.
I will, y'all. Y'all know how we do with those smoke detectors, Lord. It been needed to be changed for a couple months, y'all. I'm sorry.
All right, Nurse Ro, thank you so much, you guys. As always, you guys know how I feel. Share this podcast. If you know a nurse, or even someone who is not a nurse, but someone who loves a nurse, who would enjoy our podcast, who could benefit from all the tips that we give on this podcast, make sure you share. We are giving you guys all the game that we can get from these nurse professionals out here, so you can learn and grow in your respective spaces. So don't take this for granted, you guys. If you are watching this if you're listening to this on our podcast outlets, just remember we also are on YouTube. So if you want to see our beautiful faces, come see us on YouTube, guys. And we drop an episode every single week, and we've been doing good, Crystal. We've been really doing it, girl.
Yes, we have.
All right, you guys. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.